All right, I'm truly not prepared, guys. But let's just start with a big round of applause for Tanushri and KRITVA. I think louder one, no? Thank you, Tanushri, for bringing KRITVA to us. And the reason I say this is when she offered this opportunity to Ishaan about a couple of weeks ago, Isha said yes, and I refused to say anything because I was not sure whether Ishaan is going to be up for the idea and, come over and talk about the sport he truly loves, which is football. But then I think Isha and Ishaan worked together on building the lines about what his football journey was like. When I heard Rudra and all the other speakers speak here, I realized that Ishaan is just at the beginning of his sporting journey. But then I will share a few things. For example, when Rudra spoke, I literally had tears in my eyes. That was such a lovely story. Kudos to you, man. So, when Ishaan was about 2.5 years old, or for the first 2 or 3 years of his age, he was a ball of energy, like a goofball. I remember the summer when he was running in the passage in our home, and with a can of aam panna in his hand, which was like a bottle of glass, and it just fell on his foot, and it started bleeding. But Ishaan took it well. And he has always been that way. Maybe resilience is also what sports teaches us. So 2.5, when parents are making decisions, we thought that, the first sport that he should do is swimming. And he started, we put him into the baby pool at Solaris, I still remember, when some of his coaches were teaching him around and he was flopping around and that was it. So 2.5 to about 4, he did swimming. And then suddenly, one fine day, he discovered the greens and he discovered football. Football, he started at Metro City. I think at Metro City, Ronnie sir had a big, he still has a big share in helping him learn football. Even though Ishaan has always been independent, Ishaan probably was not very resilient when he started football. And I used to see him, whenever there was a failure, he used to cry. It used to take time for him to get up and do his things. But I think football definitely gave him that resilience where, when you're competing in a game, and if there is a smaller setback, even in the team, when a pass doesn't happen, or when a kick doesn't go well, or when the goal is not scored, or when the team loses, I saw Ishaan was developing that resilience by looking at others. And I think he learned a lot of teamwork there. They say that it takes a village to raise a kid. And even though it is about sports, I think a lot of values in the village, which is about the parents, the grandmother, the grandparents, his friends, his teachers in the school and everything, he has always tried to pick up the better things from everyone. So for example, I'm truly proud that he spoke here without a paper in his hand, and he had his memory. And I think I would credit it to the shlokas he learns at home, or the tables that he learns, and all of that. I also remember his grandfather telling me about 2 years ago that when he was doing swimming, he said that every kid should play 2 games. One is a solo game, and the other is a team sport. And that is also when we probably decided that football is a great choice. So he can learn teamwork in football, but he can go solo in swimming. You need both parts of it, right? So there are so many other things, and I think finally there's a long way to go. I truly am inspired to listen from all the speakers who have competed at national levels and won so many medals. So Ishaan will keep practicing hard and do well. But last but not the least, I think kudos to Isha also, that she worked with him to really prepare those lines. And thank you again, KRITVA, for bringing in KRITVA Tales. Thank you so much.